Look, it's the way to do it. It'll be beautiful.
Imagine.
Well, you're going to have to wait till stage 2 to see if that becomes a thing. But for now, we can jump into Outsiders versus LFO. Fresh described it as this battle in the mid-table, and I absolutely agree. These two teams, this game right here could be one that has a massive impact at the end of the season, not just for points, but also on the head-to-head. Bans are flying through, though. Outsiders starting off with the Thatcher, and so far, LFO coming back with the Nomad.
Okay. Nothing too big of a surprise there. Thatcher is Thatcher. Nomad on Chalet. You've got a couple of run-outs that can be utilised. I'm thinking particularly Trench can be a little bit of a nuisance if you're trying to play a double window. If you're trying to play Solarium, you've got the Garage run-out. There's a couple of opportunities there, so the Nomad makes sense. Also, some big internal rotations for any roamers as well. Valkyrie Mirror, pretty much stock standard. Even though Valkyrie's cams have been nerfed, they are only active for 10 seconds once thrown outside now, and then there's lose signal. She is still banned out so much.
Still very useful on this map because of all the rafters that you have around the map in different rooms. You have the little bits of shrubbery that you can hide the cams in as well. Several areas where they are very useful. So not at all surprised to see that one taken away. Let's not forget as well, Tim, we do have attacker repick. And a theme that we have seen coming out in APAC North is that teams show Ying once or twice and the defenders then are forced to take something like the Warden for the entirety of the rest of the half. I'm really keen to see if that becomes an impact at all today, but here at round 1 at least, things are looking, I was going to say, pretty normal. And then we find Shinka moving over towards potentially bringing an Amaru along.
Always love to see a little Amaru, just mixes things up. It's always that question of just exactly where in the round are we going to see that gadget used. Is it going to be early? Is it going to be late? It's always a fascinating.
Can I just acknowledge how clean the names are of LFO, by the way? LFO, Outsiders are, sorry, by the way. It's just clean, simple, 3, 4, 5 letters.
They're looking after us.
I love it. It's just nice and clean to look at. I appreciate well-named players. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, they're looking after us. They're being kind to their casters.
LFO, though. Whoa. Going the full mile. Mowgli, I don't know how many more W's he can possibly fit in his name, but hopefully there's one to be found in the game. Round 1 now underway, starting off inside a kitchen. And that Amaru is still onside for Shinka.
And let's keep an eye on that Gara hook. Are we going to see this Amaru absolutely racing into Solarium? It sort of looks like that's what it's poised for. We've got Bibu immediately on the rappel of double window. We've got Mowgli. This is going to be a rush into top floor, Des. We've got Mowgli on office door. They're just waiting for the call. Here comes Shinka with the Gara hook. Bibu gets one onto Rask. Straight in they go. And LFO are just running rampant across that top floor. P4 taking Milon down, but Smash, he starts to fight back. But the trade is there from Rise. Pasha manages to make his way up to the trophy stairs though, gets on the flank and starts doing some work. It's been a bloodbath in the first minute of EUL and it's 2v2. What a game's kicking off.
You really thought this was going to be like APAC, huh? No one thought that coming in, but it's been explosive to kick things off, but the boys are bringing it back. Pasha and FMX, between the two of them, have brought it back to a 1v2, and they're up against a new boy in Mowgli. Can he do it all by himself here? Has an idea. Doesn't know that he catches Pasha there with one of those bullets. Sees the next, but just can't quite find the man. One in West Main's going to step out and find him, but down he goes. A 2 versus 3 being pulled out by Pasha and FMX.
Wow, Outsiders have done really well there because they just had that sort of impact attack to begin with coming in from LFO. They got themselves established well. We had Mowgli on office door, Bibu on master bedroom double window. We had the Amaru coming in on the Gara hook as well into Solarium, and it just really made life difficult for Outsiders. They were just getting picked up left, right and centre up on that top floor, but they were able to hold on. They were able to find a couple of kills, Smash particularly, with a really important one to just sort of halt the progress of LFO. He got traded out quickly, but you just feel like if he doesn't get that kill, it isn't that comma, that punctuation mark in the attack of LFO that slows them down. So it was very, very important from Smash, and then the players down on site doing a great job. Pasha just mopping it up.
Yeah, I mean, Pasha coming up the solar stairs later on was massive for them, I thought, and nothing else as well. Just getting up there to shut down that initial bit of aggression they show, gain some control back in the round again, and they could kind of restage things from there. And it was good for him to acknowledge, okay, we're losing top floor fast. I'm sprinting up these stairs here to come and help the guys out. It did neutralize things down into a 2 versus 3. Otherwise, you're staring down the barrel of a 4 versus 2. And in most cases, I'll say most because not every single one, we do see the occasional big clutch. That's a round that you give to LFO every day of the week. But Outsiders, first defensive round on the board. Now we step across to playing inside a Master and Office. So up on that top floor where all the action kicked off in the last round. You might even see a very similar sort of solo take coming in, albeit it's going to be a much slower one as there is no Amaru on side. Milan, surely you find a freebie, but can't find the man, and Mowgli's there for the assist. Gets the kill, and Milan's going to be kicking himself about missing those shots.
I think Milan honestly couldn't just believe his luck there. He takes a look out of the window and he's like, surely that's not a sledge on rappel. But it really was, and he didn't manage to hit his shots. Rise just getting away with one there and able to help Mowgli get that kill. Just a little bit of distraction, confusion. Rask manages to find P4, and that's going to leave us now in a 4v4 with LFO getting themselves established inside of Solarian. They're going to start pushing immediately on towards Siders. I'm amazed at the absolute breakneck speed that this match is being played with. Pasha, he's not going to be scared by the speed and pace coming out of LFO, though. Manages to get himself one, backed up by FMX. Shinka managing to take down Smash, but still the advantage lies with Outsiders in a 3v2.
I'm really happy to see Pasha Sohn play well in these first two rounds as well. In stage 3, even stage 2 somewhat, he was a little bit non-existent. All the kind of work went onto Milan, who was the big delivery boy for them in the mid-round. But Pasha has been getting super involved. 4 kills to his name so far in just 2 rounds. Good way of keeping LFO quiet. Sure enough, in a 2 versus 3, they've got work to do. But LFO have been pretty quick on the mark so far as well. Halfway through the round, and we've already kind of seen the big initial engagement take place. It's the same as the last round, only that'll happen inside 30 seconds.
This is it. We've all been so excited for the return of EU Elders, and it's come back at absolute breakneck pace. This first game is going to be over before we know it. We've got to enjoy this while it lasts because it is high octane. Shinka going to take a lot of damage there as Rask keeps using. Rask nearly getting lucky there, finishing the man off almost as he just moves past that breach. But Shinka still lives to fight another day, looking to try and clear out the shield in front of the man Rask inside of the washroom there, but not able to. Just not able to clear him out of the closet at the minute. And right now, LFO, they've just got the brakes applied here. There's nothing they can do to move forward.
It's really smart by Outsiders as well. They're not trying to get too cheeky for a peaky, going for the swing onto anyone. They're just letting them come forwards. But the opening that came onto the wall has given them the angle to step in and look for a plant. You got to watch out for that other impact that can come swinging. Ras finding one into Shinka. Bibu's left all alone here. Diffuser cold on the ground, and with 20 seconds left, he's got to find 3. Surely he's not like an automated turret here. Finding one, can he find the third as well? The man goes for the spray, but Bibu stands tall. Last one standing here, FMX. If he can hold tight just a little bit longer, show that he can win this, it could be absolutely huge. The LMG came through, but FMX a little bit too quick and puts him in the ground. 2 rounds in a row coming out for Outsiders.
Whoa, it was really nearly cheeky peeky there towards the end. As it was brought...
As soon as the LMG started going, I was just like,
I thought he was going to take that 1v3 all the way down to 1v1, and we nearly had our first huge moment of EUL 2022, but it was not to be. FMX, with 6 seconds left to go, was able to find that kill despite the LMG ammunition raining in towards him. He was able to close that one out. We're going to be moving then into round 3. 2-0 Outsiders. I wouldn't say that they're looking comfortable at the minute. They're certainly being pushed, but what I would say is that they're playing very well in terms of how they are reacting to this LFO attack. It's going to be barring gaming this time for round number 3, so we're going to see our third side, and then it will likely be a rotation of what we've already seen should they win this one.
They're being stretched, but they look collected, is probably how I'd describe them. You saw when they were playing that last round a second ago, no one trying to go for a swing, no one getting too aggressive. They were just digging back and holding this horizontal line that stretched just at the top side of Piano, and from there was able to challenge when the eventual plant attempt came through and turn it into a 1v3. But again, I really thought they were going to win that out there with the Zofia churning away on that LMG, but it simply was not to be. Let's see how things go then in round number 3. And one thing I will clock, LFO have brought a lot of nades in every single round so far. They've had the Iana, they've had the Sledge, they've had the Finca in every single round. We haven't seen them put to massive amounts of use, and part of that is coming down to the fact there's a Jaeger and a Wamai on the other side. But I would like to see him maybe slow it down a little bit as P4 does what P4 does best and just hops inside library and gets a freebie. I guarantee you, Pasha there is going to be screaming and asking, where is my support, guys? We've got someone playing on the balcony on mezzanine, for God's sake. The cover should have been there, but it wasn't. Now I'd like to see them slow down and make use of all these nades they've got in back pocket here. Even if they're being eaten into ADSs, into magnets, for example, it just means things like the Gon 6s can fly. You can start looking towards the smokes coming out as well. They have lots of tools to play with, but I want to see them get using them.
Out of all the players on the top floor for Outsiders, the three of them that were up there, Pasha was the least important there in Library. But I think, you know, you mentioned slowing down there, Des. I don't think it's a phrase that is in LFO's vocabulary today. They're just absolutely racing through this. But the thing is, they're not racing to successful rounds. They're losing them at the moment, finding themselves 2-0 down. Milon did take a lot of damage in there, but it's going to be Rask that actually finds himself taken down. That's Mezzanine cleared out, Library cleared out, and that now is another one of those three players that I was talking about. It's all down to the last man on the top of stairs, which is Smash. He's backed up by Milon, but taken down by Mowgli. Milon as well. Mowgli with a double. He's going to be able to head downstairs, and it's all up to FMX on site. 1 versus 5, surely it's too much to ask this time. He can stop the potential for a flawless round, but he can do no more as LFO get in, and they manage to shut the round down. It's their first of the stage, first of the year, and that leaves us 2-1 on the scoreboard.
Pretty clinical as well. You know, P4 hopping in that window. Normally you're getting sprayed down from the Mez doorway, but the swing simply wasn't there. Not expecting him to go that aggressive at that time. Removes the initial barrier of Library. A little bit of a whiff from Milon, we can't lie. When he was playing inside of Office, that long-range engagement missed nearly every single shot onto Mowgli, and he just flicks onto Office and finds himself an easy kill onto someone who's already sat on 1 HP. So not the best round for Outsiders, but at least LFO get themselves around on the board. Can they turn it into 2? Can they turn it into 3? Or maybe even 4 on their attack? We'll find out now as we step back once again into Kitchen and Dining.
That's it, LFO. They need to get something going now, and I feel like a little bit of that is maybe going to be mixing up the beginning of the rounds. We've seen this hyper-aggression from them in the first couple. Outsiders have responded pretty well to that. I'm not saying take it out of the playbook, because it worked there. They got the kill onto Pasha, and it started to make Outsiders sort of fall like dominoes. One position after another then becomes more and more difficult to hold. But LFO, they just need to be careful about exactly when and where they're applying that aggression, because Outsiders, they're going to be ready for it, and they're going to keep punishing them if they continue to give them those opportunities. So certainly something for them to think about. But this time it's going to be Kitchen that we look at, Kitchen and Dining, and it's going to be another top floor defence from Outsiders. Last time around, LFO just tried to swamp them. They just tried to absolutely pile in Office Door, double window, Solarium all at the same time and race through for kills, but it's already feeling a little bit slower this time.
Yeah, I just saw Milon then as we hit that kind of 3-minute mark and the round started, immediately tossed one of his Razor Blooms outside the piano window. I think anticipating that someone might come and challenge, and is too busy looking at the window to worry about the Razor Bloom, and maybe it's a trigger for them if someone's nearby. They just know if someone's going to come on that west balcony or not. It could literally just be an information tool for them that, as of now, hasn't been triggered or destroyed, because LFO are putting a lot of their focus inside a lobby. You've got Rise and Mowgli starting off on this bottom side. No massive attempt to push into the top floor just yet, mind you. Rise already dropping down to help try and clear out this utility on the below.
Nade going over. If you got excited there thinking it was looking for a vertical kill, it was not. They wanted to clear the mute jammer off from behind the wall, although the opportunity might have presented itself. But we're going to see the impact nade used to clear off at least one of those Selma charges, but Bash is going to drop away, allowing the second one to fully detonate. So access has been gained into Dining and into the plant spot. Pasha, however, manages to get himself one onto Mowgli. He drops himself down to basement, as we saw, rotates underneath, comes up West Main and finds his man. Milon, he's ready for the jump out from Rise. It does trigger the Razor Bloom, but Rise is long gone before that device goes off, and it leaves us now 5 versus 3. Outsiders looking pretty comfortable.
You little monkey sat here in the corner just waiting for someone to show themselves on the window. This is the kind of man that would lie underneath windows back in last season. I remember him playing on maps like Clubhouse, Oregon. If there was a window, he'd be lying under it waiting for someone to come for a push through. Consulate was basically his favourite map because of how aggressive he could get on it, and here trying to be challenging inside of Solar. You got Shinka looking to work his way up here onto Big Window to again help them try and get some control up on the top floor. However, it does feel like LFO's efforts are starting to fall by the wayside a little bit, petering out now. They've lost 2 members, and again, a couple of frag grenades still left in back pocket.
P4 just approaching carefully, trying to remain silent. Bibu's going to find Milon, which gives LFO a little bit of hope here, a little bit of glimmer that they can get something going. P4 still stalking across this top floor, knows that there's likely somebody up here in behind the half wall. Out goes the nade, nowhere that Smash can go. Taken down by P4 before the nade can detonate, but that is exactly the purpose of that explosive going in there. 3 versus 3, 25 seconds left to go. Diffuser is in the hands of Shinka, so they do have an opportunity here, but it's not going to be easy as he actually pushes from the side that hasn't been breached here. Rask going to take a lot of damage, but still going to find the kill onto Bibu top floor. Shinka manages the trade. 2v2, time ticking down. This is the opportunity now for LFO. They need to get this diffuser down in the 1v2. Pasha, we've already seen him close rounds out. There's another opportunity for him, but he misses P4 as he moves across. Unfortunate timing as he changes his attention towards Kitchen and just leaves P4 with an absolute freebie there. LFO manages to find 2 and leveling things up.
Some excellent play from LFO overall, and you've seen that now across the first.
Down for LFO, and their game has been all about speed so far. It's been all about impact, about just getting in there and surprising outsiders as much as possible. And they've decided that they needed to have a little team talk, a little strategy work around to see just exactly how they're going to deal with this LFO attack now that it's managed to get 2 rounds on the bounce. Beautiful play from P4 there with the nade coming in and then the push afterwards. Absolutely fantastic stuff. LFO are going to be looking for more of the same. They're going to be attacking this time on to our top floor sides. It's going to be Master and Office. We saw this back in round 2. Outsiders were able to lock it down. Even with the opening kill coming from Oakley onto Milon, it didn't matter that they were at a man disadvantage. They still held on. But can they keep doing it if those entries keep going in the direction of LFO?
Well, there's a bit of a change here for Shinka as well. I love that we're seeing this kind of central 3 that are still playing the same thing. P4, Mowgli and Rise all playing on the Iana, Finker and the Sledge respectively. That hasn't changed. But what does keep on changing is what the other 2 are playing. We saw Amaru come out now. We're seeing the Lion coming through. We've seen Ace for Shinka. And meanwhile, Bibu has been kind of flexing between the Zofia and the Twitch. So although he's stepping into a more flex support role, kind of when Mowgli joined, everyone jumped down a position. P4 wasn't first entry. He became second entry. Rise moved down to being flex rather than second entry. There were some overall changes, and even with Bibu being on flex support, he's still getting to play these flexy kind of operators, which is, I guess, the beauty that gets offered by attacker repick.
It's looking pretty good for them at the minute. P4, he's going to get the entry again, coming in with a second, Rise with a third. It leaves us 4v2 in just a matter of seconds again, and outsiders are just unable to slow down this LFO team. There's another kill from Bibu. This is another round that could be over inside a minute. There's going to be a nitro from Smash, but it is nothing more than just a meaningless kill as the final one comes in. I think it was about 54, 55 seconds of a total round. This is absolutely unbelievable pace from LFO. I feel tired watching this.
The boys have been taking some inspiration from the F1 race this weekend, it feels like. Jesus, they are not slowing down for anything. The last 3 rounds will go in their way. It took a couple to get into things, and it's kind of one thing worth stressing. You might see teams get slammed in the first 2 or 3 rounds. Once they've worn into things and kind of figured, okay, here's how we can respond to that, how we can deal with this, things can really start to look up. And I think for outsiders, that tactical timeout we saw in the round prior was because they knew they were in a good spot. You've got 2 defensive rounds on Chalet, a map that historically is attacker-sided. If you can turn that into 3 or 4, then fantastic. You've had a really good half on Chalet, better than the average, no doubt. And they're kind of saying, right, if we can get through the defensive side in one piece, if we can get 3 or 4 rounds, brilliant. Attack suddenly becomes quite pressurized against the members of LFO. So at this point, with LFO now on course to take 4 rounds, I imagine outsiders start to sweat again a little bit.
Absolutely, the pressure's on because the thing is, this is actually a really important round. You know, we expect the attackers to do well on Chalet, so if outsiders manage to grab this and go 3-0, they sit there looking, thinking, yeah, there's a possibility of a win here. We can pick this up on attack. If they don't lose this and they lose 4 in a row to go 4-2 down on the half, then it's looking like you're potentially heading towards overtime at best, and that is a big, big difference. So we'll see how outsiders manage to handle that pressure within this round. They'll know that themselves, that they really want to be getting this one picked up. Mowgli just paying some attention to Library to begin with.
We get the best call-outs from you on this map, don't we? Mowgli.
I mean, that's not the map. That's going to be the team. That's
no, but it's Chalet.
You've got that beauty all year long, Des.
No, I mean, the map. Chalet is where beauties are born, because this is where Laser Gates was born as well. Right. The really pronounced Laser Gates that started off a generational meme. What can I say? On the other side, though, I've got to talk about P4. He's brought along the Flores here. Now, you don't bring along Flores unless you're going to slow down for 60, 75 seconds, get to work with those Rotero drones. So to me, this is a bit of a change out for LFO, who have played every round at lightning pace so far, and I'm kind of surprised given how well it was working.
Mowgli just taking the peek on in there, knowing that the soft wall would likely have been opened up, which it has. Just having a little few shots in towards half wall of office, but you're not going to find any joy there. No defenders are attacking with such a high line. Interestingly, Smash and Millon underneath at the minute, so that's something that LFO just need to be cautious of, because there is the potential for a flank, of course. Move underneath, get yourself into fireplace and cause a nuisance on this balcony, but I'm sure that LFO will have a drone, they'll have a line of sight, they'll have something set up to make sure that they're watching that.
Notice this time around as well how no one on the side of outsiders is being high progressive in library. From round start, they've all been dug in around this piano area with 2 playing downstairs to protect West Main as well. Ideally to play with C4s, you're looking towards Smash there below on the mute to go for a bit of plant denial. They've got everything right, and I was going to say so far, no one's looking to try and stop him, but it's Pasha upstairs who gets Mowgli. Maybe now outsiders getting comfortable with this reduced pace coming out of LFO.
Unfortunate for Mowgli there, he was just taking a little peek around the corner, trying to clear utility out. There was a Rotero drone on its way in, but obviously its target was elsewhere, and just a little bit of a risk there when you've got that utility on side, when you've got those Rotero drones to send a man in to face peek to take out utility. I don't know if it was the potential, they thought there was somebody hard in the corner underneath piano window, maybe a little pre-fire, but the Rotero that had gone in there previously and taken the shield down should have known that. So Mowgli getting himself caught out, but as the aggression comes in, Rise and Shinka find 2. Ras gets 1 in the mix there and leaves us now in a 3v3. Rise is on very low health. I'm not sure if there's going to be an opportunity to get the diffuser down or not for Shinka, but Rise making the most of the health he's got before being traded out by Millon. 25 seconds left to go. Shinka needs to think about exactly where he's going to deliver this diffuser if the opportunity presents itself. Millon manages to get one leveled out. 1v1 again for Shinka here. Can he make a success of it this time with 12 seconds left to go? He's going to try and get that diffuser down, Des.
I mean, at this point, Shinka's going to stick it as well. Smash a little bit too slow to the party here as well, arriving late, empty-handed. And he's now going to try and stage a retake. Knows where the man is, so those shots have come through, swings on it, but Shinka wins the 1v1, gets the plant down and makes it a 4-2 scoreline for LFO. Never would have thought we'd seen that after those first couple of rounds, Tim.
Absolutely not. I mean, we saw Shinka have the opportunity at a 1v3 earlier in the game, but he lost out on that occasion to FMX, if I'm remembering correctly. This time, however, Shinka able to not only get the plant down, but to able to find that last man in the 1v1 as well and get the round closed out. Exactly what LFO needed. A big, big turnaround for them. And what I like to see, Des, there wasn't a big change during those 6 rounds from LFO. It was tough for them in the first couple of rounds, and Outsiders got them locked down and managed to scrap their way back into those. But LFO, they knew what their game plan was. They were happy with it. They were confident with it, and they knew that they could grind Outsiders down. They kept the pace, they kept the aggression, and it really did pay off for them.
I think Rise, playing kind of late game end or late round entry there as well, finding the one around piano, a beautiful second shot into Massa. If he'd won the third, I think it was onto Millon, who was in bathroom. That's it. Good night, sleep tight. That would have been the end of that one. It was a round where he had arguably the most impact as well, going 5-4 in the half and getting 2 in that round itself, but certainly no complaints. Now let's see what LFO can do. Mowgli feeling cheeky himself here. Fancy maybe a bit of a jump out later in the round, prepping these windows in case someone does try and come down on towards the south side. If that balcony gets taken over, you will see them getting hyper-aggressive, and I'm not going to lie, I'm really enjoying the aggressive style we're seeing out of LFO so far today.
Well, this is what you wonder, to what degree is it going to continue on defence? And there's your answer, Des. P4, he's going to take a little look outside. He's going to find himself a kill onto Rask. Nice headshot, shuts down the Ossa as well. No shield's going to be deployed.
Oh, no.
That is a big opener, because an attacking unit with Ossa on side is likely going to be built around that capability.
You're going to be relying on it as a go-to strategy, and maybe these are some ideas employed back from the old Hellraisers roster who ran it once or twice back in Challenger League. Let's see how things step forward from here, mind you. Or not so much Challenger League. I think it's more like Quals maybe when they were playing in that one. But they've already lost the opening man. Things are going from bad to worse. In fact, so far, only 2 entry kills have gone the way of Outsiders in this game. LFO just running amok in the first 60 seconds of any given round that we've seen so far.
Maverick just starting to get that wall opened up. Electrification on the other side. Thatcher banned out, of course, so not a simple process necessarily of just clearing that out. There are nades there, so always the potential to clear underneath, but with it being electrical, not that easy. So, like you say, it's always a bit of a funny one for the Mavericks trying to get it open. Sometimes we do see big pieces of it sort of remaining in place, but no, Smash is going to do an expert job of smashing that one open.
He's indeed, well, not quite smashing, more like a slow
burn.
I'm just going to slowly peel it away like a tin opener. Although a blowtorch to a tin might be a little bit heavy, to be honest.
I mean, it probably won't be a good idea to just really heat the tin up.
That'd be all right for you. If you're looking to heat it up in the microwave anyway, you're saving yourself a job there.
2 in 1.
Exactly. You need a maverick in your life. That's what I'm learning.
If you want beans on toast. FMX taking a little peek in through the breach here. Got diffuser in hand. He's not going to head in just yet, but that might just be the signal as to he has to try and get something going here because Mowgli manages to find Pasha. Milon looking for a peek around, but guess what? Here comes Bibu, but there goes Mowgli. Beautiful team play from LFO there. Find themselves now 4v2. It's all up to Smash and FMX. They need to get something going here, but they're going to find themselves playing in to LFO's angles because right now, LFO, they don't need to do anything here. They don't need to get aggressive. They can wait for the kills to come to them, and that's exactly what Smash is going to do. It's all up to FMX. He finds shots onto P4, shut down by Rise, and that's going to be LFO going 5-2 now and starting to race away with this. This game started at 6 o'clock, Des. I think it's about 5 past now without checking my watch.
You're not far off, mate. Maybe a minute or two over time in that case. It is becoming a really fast game. LFO speed running through fixture number 1 here in EUL in the season. And honestly, I think it reminds me a lot of a couple of games we've seen from Cyclops over in APAC North, where they were against Rejects, and you just see the night and day difference. You know, one team really impressing their playstyle on the other, not really giving them away into the game. And it's just feeling oppressive. Like there is very little that Outsiders can do right now to fight back. It seems that whenever someone from LFO walks in a room, they're guaranteed to walk away with a couple of kills. So Outsiders really got to find something to go for them here. And hopefully the Ossa lives a little bit longer. Because as you said, that was the key thing in their strategy last time around. They just simply could not make it work. Of course, when you get Spawn Peach, you can't make it work. So they were a little bit stuck there in a 4v5 from the outset.
This is, you know, like I said, if you've got an Ossa in the lineup, it's likely not necessarily the central part of it, but it's going to be a big part of that attacking strategy. It is going to be playing in behind those shields, where they're going to be deployed, what cover are they going to offer, how are they going to help you get that diffuser down is going to be a big part of it. So it was a nice pickup, but probably almost as impactful as picking up the hard breacher. You can't choose them. P4 stuck his face into a window, had a little look and got lucky with it, but they're going to have to try Outsiders this time to make sure that that is not the case again. P4 is on the roam, he's downstairs on the Mozzie, and they just need to try and make sure that they're pinning him in and getting him cut down. He's not a million miles from sight, but he's got a lot of flexibility in this position. He can go up, he can go down, he can rotate all around the map very quickly.
If this was a roaming from Outsiders like we saw back in the first half, LFO would have had 3 players boxing him in by now, and he'd be in deep trouble. But at the minute, they seem a little bit hesitant, not quite 100% sure. Even in room to pull out a C4 here, not to find anyone, not a mile away, admittedly. But he's still hanging around here downstairs for free right now. Backs it down to the basement, got Bibu to give a little bit of support. So him kind of being the connector, the link, the conduit that gets him back to his team safely. And look at Rise as well. They're just playing with so much confidence, Tim. They don't look scared by what Outsiders might bring against them. And that just shows a team that's brimming with confidence.
I mean, talking about scared, Des, we're over a minute into the round and Outsiders, they're not even in the map yet.
They really are Outsiders at this point, Tim.
They literally are. They're just about getting themselves established in Library. Pasha able to push through onto the mezzanine and drop down. He's going hunting down in the basement by the look of things, just trying to see if he can pick up any of those roamers or not, but he's going to drop himself away. P4 is going to stay in place, and if they don't pick him up, that Mozzie could be a big headache.
Imagine, if he comes up the lobby stairs now, it's going to be an absolute nightmare. The first Ossa shield being dropped down. I think the second one as well, potentially. In fact, no, it's just in hand, being dropped down, facing in towards the office. And the second one here being given, I tell you what, the number of times you see shield setups, that's a one of hell of a word, inside a piano. Now you're being set up by 2 shields on the other side. It's kind of like, ha, see how you like this.
Well, it's a lot of utility being used from Outsiders to take control of the top floor, and I'm not sure that that's where their biggest problems are at the minute. We're going to have further droning coming down. P4 still being a little bit sneaky, a little bit wriggly here, but Milon might be able to find him. No, that ship's in the night. They just pass, and P4, he now knows. He knows that there's somebody on his heel, and as the man moves around, he might just find himself an easy kill. A spray through the window would do it, but he doesn't need to. He waits, but Milon manages to somehow get the better Shinka. Bibu there to pick up one apiece though, and it's all falling apart. Des, as Rise, he manages to take down the Ossa of Rask. 3 versus 2 now, 30 seconds left to go.
They've only done the very bare basics in bringing down P4 in the basement, because now Rise has just ruined them and tore them a new one. There's barely anything left. Just Smash and Milon to start off incredible recovery effort if they can pull one together. You got Smash and Milan looking to find what they can. They get one, but we're down to the last 10 seconds. They've got to go now, and they've got to find some critical kills. They find them! Milan, a massive 2K from inside of Master, gets the down man and finds the one sat inside of the red hole. They get themselves around, but it's in the dying seconds there, Tim. It was that close to being 6-2 to LFO.
So important for outsiders to pick that round up. It really keeps them in the fight here. 6-3 would have seen them, or even 6-2 as it would have been, would have seen them facing map point, and a lot of opportunity for LFO to just close it out on the defensive side, just waiting for a site that suited them. But getting that one changes things completely. Different landscape here as 5-3 now. Outsiders have a chance. They're able to get themselves back into this without that sort of threat of a map point hanging over them as it may have been otherwise.
Oh, well, let's see how things go once again, because it appears there's going to be a couple of changes coming in. FMX stepping away from playing on the Thermite, instead going over to the Habana, and you've got Rask moving away from that Ossa and stepping instead on to the Buck. Part of that, no doubt, looking at the site itself. Ideally, you want to be getting the Buck upstairs and opening up much of that soft flooring to make it very difficult to play inside a bar, to play inside a split, to play inside a site. All these areas that you want to force the defenders out of. This is looking like a good shout as Smash is also moving away and stepping onto the Flores.
I'm interested to see what's going to come out of the top floor hold from LFO. At the minute, we've got 3 up there. Rise, Bibu, Mowgli. We would normally see either 2 or 3, depending which variation of this setup you're going to play. Mowgli going to be playing the library spot, but just a little bit softer, a little bit more gently. You usually see him down in the southwest corner of library, where we saw Pasha taken out earlier on during this very same defence. So just changing things up a little bit there, Mowgli. And I like to see it. I like to see the adaptation. Just try and iterate on what's gone before, see if you can improve, do anything better. And of course then there are the 2 players, one top of library stairs and one on mezzanine, that are going to try to hold down. But for the time being, outsiders, they're going to have to get through P4 first, because what outsiders want to do is they want to take Master and Office, and then they can pressure onto top of library stairs without having to worry too much about library and about mezzanine.
Just going to back away. Rise trying his very best to get to platform 9 3/4 with how hard he's hugging into that wall. It's a really risky spot. Nades can come singing in. You can get someone playing on double window. He's sat on the mute jammer right now, and no doubt has got a couple of magnets around him as well to keep him safe. But on the other side, there are 4 nades they can go through here, including a ton of flashbangs. No real attempts yet to clear anyone out. They've slowly worked their way down from Solar side. But Tim, we're about halfway into the round, and they haven't yet really taken a fight on with anyone.
Not too much, but the progress that they've gained is pretty good, because once they clear out this library shield, which they're going to continue trying to do, they've got the breach in the office wall as well.
That'll kill the shield if that gets caught.
Exactly that. So they've got plenty of opportunity now to get rid of this shield, get rid of the utility, and start pushing forward. But they don't want to take too long in doing it. Rask, he's going to open up the office wall to try and get himself out onto mezzanine. But Des, you're getting frustrated. So am I. That shield is still in place.
It's not even the shield. It's again magnets. It's like I've said this 3 broadcasts in a row. People keep on putting magnets too close together that when one gets caught, it destroys the other as well. So it's 2 for the price of 1 nade. It's beautiful. But finally, Sunday mounts start kicking off now.
P4 absolutely ratting here just underneath the library. Double window. Led prone, waiting for somebody to hop on in, but doesn't get away with it. However, the opener does come in. It's Mowgli onto Milon, and that's going to give advantage LFO. And right now, as much as outsiders made good progress across the top of the map, they hit that stalling point. The top of library stairs, they weren't able to move on very quickly. And they started to lose seconds. But Pasha, he's going to find Mowgli, and that levels us up 4 versus 4, but it's going to be a very late play here. Pasha looks like he might be aware. He's looking over into this corner. I'm not sure. P4's just waiting for his moment, Des. He's going to pop up. This is going to be absolutely catastrophic. He gets 1. He gets 2. Surely not 3, but it doesn't matter, Des. The damage is done. What a play from P4.
Finding 2 or 3 versus 2 yet again. LFO with the numbers advantage down to about 15 seconds. Now's probably not the time, Smash, to be getting onto your drone, but down it drops. Surely the drop comes here down through the hatch. Raz has got to make it work. There's 1 or 2 more storm down, but Rise is sat inside of mud. He can find the swing, can't find the man. Smash has got to find 2 in about 2 seconds time. It's simply not going to happen. They're going to hold on here, LFO, and move themselves up to match point.
Well, what a play from P4. That was real impact play. Just sometimes there's, you know what, trying those cheeky peeky plays, they pay off.
Is that a new one, is it? Cheeky peeky plays?
As soon as I heard that one come out, I was just so excited.
Like, I'm taking that.
P4 in behind the desk there, just the discipline of the man. He's underneath the windowsill when somebody's peeking the double window. and he keeps himself nice and calm and waits for the hop in. Doesn't try to make the challenge before it's there. Doesn't try to force it. That's the important thing. Just lets it happen sort of naturally and then moves himself over, takes cover on the other side. It's the second shot. Look at, beautiful. P4, absolutely.
And I tell you what,
brilliant.
he was only ever so slightly to the left to not hit a headshot. He got his shoulder, was that close, a couple of pixels to hitting the head, and that would have been the 3K to end all 3Ks. What a way to win the round for them that would have been. They won anyway, you'll take it. LFO at 6-3. Outsiders have got to pull off a miracle here. They need 3 rounds on the bounce to guarantee at least overtime, so no matter what LFO do from here, they've guaranteed themselves at least a single point here on the last day, but they know 1 point ain't enough. They want all 3 here. Outsiders, Rask going back over to the Ossa once again.
Look at the confidence of Mowgli. I mean, it doesn't pay off. That's unfortunate. But it's his first game in EUL. He's knocking windows out. He's looking for heads on the peaks. But he comes up against Milon, who, guess what? He's seen 1 or 2 spawn peaks in his time in EUL, and you're going to have to get up sooner than that if you want to catch him out.
I will give it to Mowgli as well. Alongside P4, he looks like he's fitting in wonderfully so far. The confidence with which he's moving through different areas of the map and not being static, not getting scared, it just looks comfortable. He kind of sits really well in this entry role in the sense of trying to disrupt the enemy team. So a fantastic job by him so far. It can't be taken away from him. However, that's the last time we'll mention his name in this round because there are 4 players left for LFO. All that inside the first 15 seconds or so. We've now got about 2 minutes for Outsiders to find some magic to muster up a round win to keep themselves in the game. Please tell me he jumps out the window.
I was feeling it for a second. I thought he's going to get brave. But Shinka, no, he's going to hold himself back. I think if Mowgli's alive, maybe he takes the chance there. But they're already 4v5. They don't want to start burning rounds. They might be 6-3, but it's professional play from LFO here. I like what I'm seeing, Des. Not getting too carried away. Yeah, let's try a little peek. We've got a couple of rounds advantage, but we're not going to get overexcited and then throw a jump out on top of it. We're not just going to burn these rounds. We're going to make Outsiders fight if they want to win this. And that's exactly what Outsiders are going to do. Milon getting himself a second, just able to swing around the door frame there and plays a wonderful tune into piano, takes the man down, and we now find ourselves 5 versus 3.
I absolutely love this as well. Loads of nades coming out here to find the kill, but the smoke went a little bit too late. Milon, though, has found a third. Pasha into another before Smash gets the shutdown. Outsiders find themselves another round, and again, keep the dream alive. They need 2 more to force us through to overtime.
This is it, though. LFO are now playing with that knowledge that they've guaranteed themselves at least a point out of this game. Of course, we are on our 3-point system whereby a win in regulation will get you 3 points in the league and a loss in regulation will get you 0. And when I say in regulation, I mean within 12 rounds. So 7-5 or better will get you those 3 points or lose them for you. If you get yourself into overtime, the point structure changes a little bit. We go into a best of 3 rounds. So whoever wins 2 of those overtime rounds will take 2 points for the league and the loser will take 1. So when I say LFO have guaranteed themselves a point, it's because they're guaranteed getting overtime at least.
I'm not 100% sure where Outsiders are playing from, but it looks like they're set up in their mom's bedroom. You've seen it? Like the decoration and the wallpaper.
I didn't.
At the end of the round, if you see them win or it goes to cameras, look at the decoration. It's beautiful.
Have a look. I'm sure it's wonderful.
I guarantee it'll be found in your house, Tim.
That's
Mate, let's not even get started on you sitting backstage and playing Sudoku for the last 2 hours.
Oh, don't worry about it, Des. Don't worry about it.
You mean you scribbled one out in rage? I already saw that. You gave up.
I literally rage quit.
See, here's an old man tip.
I rage quit a written puzzle.
Here's an old man tip for you. Pencil.
Oh, there we go. That's the play, is it? You see, it's because I'm travelling, aren't I? So I don't have a pencil tag. Although I think there might be one in the hotel.
It's not like you to not come prepared and equipped for a game of Sudoku, mate. I thought you'd come out there with all the cheat guides for it and how to play it.
Cheat guides?
YouTube playlist loaded up with the best Sudoku games you've ever seen.
Put a code in.
I mean, it is putting a code in. That's exactly what the game is.
The game here is 6-4 to LFO and Outsiders. They've managed to fight their way back into things to a degree, but there's still a lot of work for them to do. Pasha, he's looking to get himself in on the entry, pushing through Library with Milon. Milon had a big round last time, and it was exactly at the right time for Outsiders. They need one of those experienced players to really step up and lead from the front, and that is what Milon did. Pasha is going to drop himself over for the time being. I think there's a little opportunity, he thinks, for a vertical kill here. I wasn't sure whether he was looking for utility or vertical kill, but I think there was just a bit of information on the man inside of office there, and he thought he could maybe catch him out. But it's not going to be the case, and we continue on 5 versus 5 in round number 11.
Yeah, chancing it is really... That's another same kill again, by the way. Milon the king of the piano attack, it feels like. He found a big 2K/3K from here in the last round, and here has swung round and found Rise, who was playing at the very back, and he's on the Wamai as well. He's died out pretty early. That's going to be some crucial utility gone. So with 5 frag grenades still left in the back pockets of Outsiders, keep a close eye for how much damage they can do.
It's quite an interesting choice site-wise. We've skimmed over that. But obviously they lost Master, so they could have gone back to top floor LFO. They've chosen not to, but they've chosen to go to Kitchen instead, which they lost back in round 8. They haven't won Kitchen yet today. So
Milan again.
It's not looking good for them here. Milan's on an absolute tear at the minute. Finds himself another. That's 5, I think, inside of the last 2 rounds.
Yep.
He got a 3K in round 11, in round 10, and then 2 to be found here, and probably more if he continues like this. So a little bit of a risk on the site, maybe, given that they already have a win on the top floor of Master, but hey ho, it's starting to fall apart as the kills continue to rain in. It's all up to Bibu. He finds one. It will at least prevent a flawless round, but FMX, he's not messing about, getting straight in there to get the diffuser down. But you know what? We don't need to get the diffuser down, because we're going to find that kill before we can. And that's going to be Bibu gone. That's going to be LFO gone. And that is going to be round 11 going to Outsiders. And all of a sudden, Des, what looked like it might be a little bit of a one-way street has turned into a game.
I love when you get these kind of ebb and flows in a game as well. You get the difference between halves where it feels like outside
being brought by LFO. So we head into our final regulation round. It's going to be round 12, and there's one of 2 things that can happen here. LFO can win the whole thing and take 3 points, or Outsiders will take us to overtime. I mean, would it really be a first game of EUL for you and I to cast if they don't go to overtime, Des?
Not really, is it? Saw in that little timeout there as well, Bibu, Captain Bibu barking orders at the rest of the team with Rise interjecting along the way. The 2 more experienced members on this team as well, no surprise they're the ones being the most vocal, directing from the back, having these 3 more aggressive players on the lineup. I know Shinka is more playing on a supportive role, but we've seen him step across onto slightly more aggressive operators in this game. Think about the Amaru, for example. Think about when he stepped across onto the Lion. So again, they're kind of getting everyone involved in the picture. A lot of that is because of the map in Chalet itself. But again, it's looking good all across the board. Even Shinka sat at 8 and 5 in what is normally a back roll position. Now, Tim, they've made a quite questionable decision, and I'd argue they're going down here for some afters. Back down to Kitchen and Dining once again for the 3rd time in this half. They lost it in round 8, they've lost it in round 11, and they're going to try again.
Well, this is the thing. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, they lost Master as well, but at least you have a win on the board there. At least you've got 1 round done, whereas they look in here and they I feel like it's just handing a little mental boost to Outsiders to say, yep, come and have another go at a site that you've already beaten us twice on. And, obviously there's some confidence there from LFO that they can get this one done, but for me, I think go to your 50-50 site. You've already won one there, and it at least just puts in the mind that it could go either way.
What about Bar Gaming as well? My main concern
is available.
My main concern with that is they've kind of pulled out the trick in a way of P4 ratting himself out in library. Yeah. Maybe they weren't confident because they did lose a number of members on that one-sided push coming in from the north from the side of Outsiders. So confidence not quite there. This clearly is going to be their game plan. It is the last round for them to get a win as well. Otherwise, it is overtime. They are going to have to share the points at the end of the day. And given they were in such a commanding position just 3 rounds ago, it's really odd to think that this could go to overtime.
Pretty quick progress so far for Outsiders. Got themselves into the top floor, breached the office wall, cleared out the bulletproof camera. So they're sweeping across towards Solarium for the time being, looking to try and just move all of those roamers back down to at least the site. Milan is underneath as well. There was obviously quite a big presence from LFO down in the basement last time that they defended this site, but it isn't quite the case now.
Shinka's ready. He's just... This nade. This could be so big brain if they get this right as well. Try and get it over the top to kill the man, but nope, not quite going to land it. But he messes up both of the impacts. Can't get rid of the thermite charge that was placed really low down at a crouch position, and they get the wall opened up.
Smart play from FMX there, maybe just helping that exothermic charge to survive. Milan, he's not wasting time at the minute. He's on the flank watch, but he is taken out of this. So it's effectively 4v5 because they don't have anybody on the bottom floor, LFO. And the fact that their previous rounds' actions are sort of burning a little bit of time and manpower for them, that's not a bad thing.
Oh, they really want Milan upstairs on the top floor right now because there are a couple holding around Piano. There's one inside of office like we just saw and another one in Solar. There's 2 of them up here. Oh, he sees the man, but he can't find him. No way! Smash should be winning that every day of the week. Rask is there for the trade, but it's all going mental. Rask getting flanked on the backside, and they didn't have enough cover. There were only 2 of them on the upstairs. Shinka into another. There's only 2 left. It's Pasha and Milan, the old boys in a 2 versus 4, making Skinner 1 versus 4 as Pasha can pull it all off by himself. Surely not. He's got about 5 HP left. It's going to be a bailiff shot. Down he goes, and by the skin of their teeth, LFO win the first game of EUL 2022.
Well, we don't quite get the treat of overtime in that one, but what a matchup to start us off here. Both teams coming in and giving absolutely everything, and an almost unexpected fight back from outsiders after the halfway mark, where LFO really did seem to be in command. But great performances on both sides. P4 Mill on both deserve